we're looking at now, like what champion can we pair with the Senna? We have seen the Wukong before, but come on, like how far are we gonna stretch it? Like, so if the thought, let's entertain the thought.
Yeah, let's
say they have the Senna Wukong bot lane. Okay, what would they put in the jungle that would kind of switch things up again into the favor of for the win according to the champions we see on the other side? Now, one thing I could. Yeah, I can entertain the Skarner. That would actually be quite spicy, because one of the things is that Viego needs the pick, and he needs to get the resets. So if you pick Viego before he gets the pick, you know, you won't get the resets.
I feel like I just went into some crazy draft analyst podcast there, where it was like, we need the whiteboard, we need the strings. Like, it was just
get a buyout here, we'll get him teaching. I think the Poppy as well actually might just be really massive on R4. Like almost triple flex. Poppy can play the lane with Senna. It's a bit rough, to be honest, but it's absolutely playable. Yeah, gosh, for the win have extended this.
They keep offering the Evelyn, man. Like they're not picking. They're not picking the Evelyn. It's not happening. They're gonna lock in the Ornn.
Oh no!
Okay,
it's a flex. Ornn Senna has an 80% win rate, I'm pretty sure, on 12-14. Yeah, it was done to like flex the Wukong out of places into the top lane when that was still like slightly preferred. So we're talking a little while ago now. It might be longer ago than 12-14, to be honest.
Yeah, so one problem I sadly have with that is probably like Ornn needs the levels to be able to get Ornn upgrades. So like in general, it's an interesting win rate to be hearing about, but I don't see it happening here they need items early.
You tend to sit the Senna in mid with like something else and sacrifice the rest of your comp. Leona is nice here. I think that Zyra is completely baked.
Yeah, I like the Leona. It kind of fits with what we were talking about these two teams want to fight. Renekton going to be locked in as well, adding another one to the just absolute brawl pit that is going to be this game. I just want them to pick something that fights, to be honest. They could pick anything for me, really. I kind of want to see Fiddlesticks here, but that's just personal preferences.
At this point, I feel like Vitality.Bee has the more easy-to-play comp. They have things that just want to be brawling, they want to be fist-fighting. There is no in-between. It's pretty straightforward for them. Like, they would just get the mouth right there?
Let's go!
Okay, so anybody will take predictions. Okay, where is Senna? Who's going with Senna? I don't know. Is it Ornn, actually?
I think it is Ornn.
I think it's Ornn, yeah.
Yeah. So the Malphite Senna is also playable, except against the Leona, you'd get absolutely mashed every time he was up on the wave. His farming isn't as consistent as the Ornn, not as easy to manage. Vitality.Bee, you mentioned they have the easier game. It goes even further. For the Win play completely into them. They are playing straight target access onto this Aphelios. And if you screw this up, Diplex is going to set a new record for DPS.
I feel like we came into this, we were like, okay, let's talk about the draft today. We've had some similar bot lanes. They were just like, you know what, J-Real? We're gonna throw you a Hail Mary. We're gonna give you some stuff you ain't seen today. We're gonna play Malphite. We're gonna see Ornn, Senna bot. I love it, man. I really respect that. For the win, I want you guys to win, just because of the draft differences.
Yeah.
I also like the Aphelios though. I like that we're getting to see it because I feel like it is actually a really good pick, but it is maybe being overshadowed, a little bit.
Against all odds, please overcome this hands check. It's going to be so much fun.
But the problem here is like, is Aphelios even going to be alive to do damage? Like, you will have an Ornn coming on your face. Like, if you don't have flash, you're dead. Who is peeling for this Aphelios? You have a Malphite coming on, you have an Ornn ult over there against Senna following up, like, Jeskla.
Yeah.
I pray for you having a safe trip on the Rift. I still want for the win to win, but I don't want you to feel depressed after this game.
I think maybe it's mental warfare against Jeskla. They're just like, hey, we know if we wind him up really badly, then we can win this.
But the potential is that even if they do kill Jeskla, they still do have a Viego. They still have a Swain. They still have... Okay, Renekton does fall off a little bit, but it's like still damage, Like, they've still got a lot to go through. So if they do burn all key ultimates onto the Aphelios, yes, you will pick up the win of that kill, but you're not necessarily going to get the win of the rest. But you know what? Amazon EU Masters has been popping off, and this is another one that you should be watching. So make sure you tell your friends and family to come watch the stream. Back onto this game, though. Is it all late game? Is it all early game? When are we expecting the fireworks?
the lanes are going to be a complete mess. Ornn Senna has kill pressure much earlier than other Senna lanes because Ornn, the template Dark Knight, evil tank carry assassin, is really good at that sort of stuff. And if you get two people, that not
he's not the support you deserve, but he's the support you need.
Oh, you need an Ornn support in your lives. And Renekton versus Malphite is going to be a bloodbath.
I don't know if I'm sold, but I hope by the end of the game I'm so like, okay, Senna Ornn, that's the shit. I'm bringing that to Dota League. I'll tell the boys like, okay, we're playing Senna Ornn, I don't know. But like, okay, some people, yeah.
Right,
some people might be like,
Senna
okay. Some people might be like, oh, why are these guys so biased for the win? Like, what is this they're always talking about? That it's because we know the casters coming later, and they'll do the other part of like biases. So we're actually evening it out.
Yeah, LFL Smash is around the next transition, don't you worry. We do have to espouse, you know, the LP LOL deserves a great shout out. Not only does Archon try his best for it, but they are really cursed. I tried my best in spring. Like, these teams aren't that bad. You are just looking at maybe the second best team in the LFL. You know, probably LEC caliber.
Yeah.
To say LP LOL aren't a good ERL team is wrong.
But yeah, the LFL are different, and you got to think about it, right? Like, we might be the middlemen in terms of the draft to the game, but you're gonna get the casting of the middle dude, you know. So like, it's
just dude.
It's
I like Rude Cot better.
We're debating the casting duo name right now. Rude Cot or Middle Dude? Let us know in chat what you guys think is the better duo name for this LFL biased duo. But either way, going into this game for the win though, they have set themselves up with a decent chance, I think. I feel like they've picked a comp that isn't normal, so it is going to be a little bit like, okay, we need to play a little bit differently around this. They've got a lot of engage. They do have ways to pick up the kills onto Jeskler. It's whether or not they can really form the rest of the team able to pick up kills on things like the Swain, because obviously a lot of tanks not doing a lot of burst damage could become pretty problematic.
Yeah, it could hit the damage wall there really badly. I'm still so excited about this draft though. I started off this segment by being like, yeah, you saw White Dragons, like I trusted them to give that a go. And the Silas, just like our main criticism was Silas ran away to Narnia. But LPL, they've done it again. They've got me excited about a draft I thought was dead.
Yeah, well, they have got us excited. We'll see if the casters are excited as well. We're going to be handing over for the last time today. Middlecott, Rude Dude, take us through the finale of the stream.
Oh no, Middlecott. Oh dear. Everybody, F's in chat. F's in chat.
Shame
Middlecott's
him.
had a shocker.
Shame him in
He's
chat.
had
Shame
an
him.
absolute shocker. Middlecott, I can see your mic's now unmuted. Do you wanna explain yourself?
We were talking when they were discussing caster names. We came up with really cool. I came up with a really cool one. Rude Dude like didn't contribute to it at all. I had this great idea for a nice intro. We could go in, get ready for the game, and I've completely jazzed it by forgetting to unmute my microphone. Happens to the best of us. Happens to me as well, Rude Dude. But before we get into this game, we are seeing a Portuguese team drafting a unconventional center bot lane versus an LFL team. Now, I've got 2 nickels in my wallet here, Rude Dude. How do you think this game's going to go?
Well, I think that you owe me those nickels because if I had a nickel for every time an LVP team drafted, or the Portuguese team drafted a weird bot lane, then you'd owe me those nickels because we've had that in the last 2 games between our rosters and between the Portugal versus France matchup. I, for one, am honestly feeling very good for Vitality.Bee, not just through own inherent knowledge of the teams, but for the fact that I don't quite know how we're killing Diplex this game. It's the similar thing we ran into in the first matchup that we got to do between these 2 regions. But I think that we're at that same sort of point where outside of Mindrago getting very far accelerated on this center and going for a very hyper-carry focused build, this Swain probably just doesn't die.
Well, I mean, I like that you've talked about Mindrago because he's a sort of player to do that. Just sort of casually exist on an AD carry, farming up is going for that fasting center build, so the range that you can get once you pick up those souls is pretty exceptional, and it can get to a point where it's difficult for anyone on Vitality.Bee to actually get towards you. However, There is that little bit of me that's looking at 20 minutes into this game, Vitality.Bee with a load of skirmishing, build themselves to a gold advantage, and for the win, never get to a point where they can use the late game scaling that they do have out of their composition.
It's a very real threat, and I think that with Leona on your side, certainly something that Vitality.Bee can leverage and can try and punish with. Now, Aphelios himself, not the be-all and end-all of laning picks. I think that he's kind of gotten away with things a little bit here because he's given a center on lane. Now, I will be curious because I will lend much more credit to Temporal's knowledge on the center on bot lane than I can give you to see quite how much kill pressure these guys have got. I feel like scrapping against a Leona in the early stage is not something that I would be particularly fond of, but potentially for the win have got something up their sleeve that is going to put them to a 3-0 stage.
And I think we were sort of messaging each other during the draft, and I think we've both come away feeling that this is pretty much the most Vitality.Bee draft that we've seen from them in, well, definitely so far today in Amazon E-Masters play-ins. You got Diplex on something that's going to buy space in the team fights. You got Jeskler on his Aphelios, Jatrol, Shigenda, schemes all going.
Of course, to touch a little bit on the other side, the potentially more boring side whilst we've got this time, this Renekton versus Malphite matchup, very likely to be very boring and give this agenda, honestly, a fairly sizable CS lead. But Jakul coming in as a replacement for Curl into this team where they previously had a very, very aggressive top laner. Jakul obviously now on the Malphite now, going to be taking a very different role and looking to be setting up the team for success, something that we really need to see, honestly.
And it's a really cool trajectory for Jakul. A few months ago, this guy was playing in the MasterCard Nexus stores, which is the sort of the tier 3 of the LFL essentially, and then he's come on to For the Win because of this sort of sub situation, playing the finals, able to win. Now at EU Masters play-ins, it must be a great time for this guy, and it's going to be such a useful learning experience going up against the caliber of Vitality.Bee.
And to add the icing onto the cake, Jakul is French. That's the whole link, the whole tie-in here. There's actually a French top laner playing against the French team for his Portuguese region. Now, of course, given this challenge of the Malphite versus Renekton, doing fairly well thus far, though very early on still in this game. Take a little look at our junglers, though it has been reverse clears essentially. We've seen both of them start on their red buffs and path opposites to one another. Right now, the only advantage is that could be this mid lane, actually.
Diplex pretty far out from an engagement. Keeps hold of the flash, which is gonna feel great, and I do want to see a bit more of that on the we can get some things going as Schemes is looking to kill his compatriot in the top lane. Jakul recognizing that when the flash would be a foolish thing to do, so gives first blood over to Shigenda.
This wave is in a full-on doomed state for Jakul in that top side. Knew that he needed to try and step forward to push that wave and make sure that this freeze didn't happen. Unfortunately gets punished for it. With Owner pathing toward that bot side, a slight mismanage on the wave means that he's now in a very difficult position, but he has called his jungler back up. He's going to try and help him out, but there are missing pings. They kind of know that Owner's here. Question is, are they going to be able to play this 2v2 well?
Schemes has also been spotted, so both teams playing with full information. And
that's the worst game of hide and seek ever.
Yeah, it's not great, guys. They can see your feet peeking out the bottom of the curtain.
But this top lane is still, honestly, the area where obviously I expected it to be fairly quiet. Actually, the focal point for the most part is bot lane. We've had to get engaged, but the Draco forces cleanse early, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was entirely necessary, but the rest of Vitality bot lane, Jeskler here, willing to back up the engage from Jatrol, not quite finding the gravity route there. And this is kind of what you can do on something like on the Aphelios Leona. We talk about Aphelios being a champion that is going to take a little bit of time to get online, but because you've got that CC, because you've got so many tools in your kit, you can really cause a ruckus for people a lot earlier than they'd expect.
And I want to touch on, obviously, Cleanse versus Leona, obviously very powerful, but it also gets a lot of value versus the potential engage that Diplex will likely find on this Swain, any potential Graviton Moonlight Vigils that we get spotted out as well. Really high value summon spell from Indrago that obviously doesn't give him the greatest laning power, but has given him a route to success there, and later on will be very, very crucial.
Shigenda attacking onto Jack in the top lane. Owner has gone for an engage and is going to be able to take away this scrum. Spotted out by Skins, who pops that blast cone. Obviously, the Wukong still has the clone to get over the wall if he needs to, but he's going to be forced to burn the flash instead. Skins is going to follow forward. Now there are no defensive tools available for the Monkey King, and he's been dethroned. A second kill for Shigenda.
Oh, poor Jack Troll roamed up, didn't get anything for his troubles, but they may find a dive here if they fancy it. Jakul not level 6 yet, not going to be able to dissuade from this one too easily. Sagenda pushing in this wave, and there are no resources coming for you, Jakul. Your question right now is, who are you going to give the gold to?
Well, you prefer Jack Troll, but I don't think the Vitality.Bee are going to let that happen. Xena play for the start of the engage, and Shigenda getting another kill. This Renekton pick is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, this is really bad, but it is actually for the win, capitalizing on that bot side. Credit to Karmsky and Mindrago taking down the bot lane as a top side engage again.
Taken away here as Noma trading up with the members of Vitality Schemes. Only level 5 as is Ona. Ultimate's not available for Viego. Just a little bit weaker at this stage, and it's actually Ona who grabs the kill. Shigenda not going to get caught by that attempted flash predict from Noma, but for the win, showing signs of life at least.
And the crucial feature right there, actually, Skeens hadn't based at the start of that fight. His inventory was an Ember Knife. There was nothing there that led me to believe Vitality.Bee would be able to turn that 2v2 back around. Sheen is so powerful in the early stages, and Ona capitalizes on that. Gets himself a kill and puts himself a little bit accelerated on this Wukong, a champion that we've already seen do so much work in just these last 2 games alone. Last game it was for the French region. Potentially this game it could be their undoing.
Yeah, you get on top of someone with a Cyclone, that's generally going to kill them. That's how Cyclones work, both in reality and in Runeterra. But this is something that we saw from White Dragon in the previous game. These LP LOL teams are willing to try and contest, to try and hands check, and whilst that's difficult against these teams from the LFL, we've seen that Jakul has been the focus of some possibly unwanted attention. You still get the feeling that for the win, they're not going to go down without a fight. They're going to keep fighting back, and this minor gold lead that Vitality.Bee have secured for themselves in the early stages is not particularly secure.
No, and we said that they needed to really force the issue a little bit earlier on for fear of the Mindrago scaling, and he's already got that Noon Quiver in the inventory. Looking toward that crack, and I'm quite happy with Rift Herald here. Lots of Vitality.Bee members to come.
Jatro getting an engage onto Mindrago, onto that center, and is exploded. Scenes now with the resets can start to come through. The Malphite's going to fall down for a 3rd time this game. Vitality.Bee match for the win at the Herald, get a couple of kills and claim Shirley as another prize.
Oh, it's just disastrous. They abandon Mindrago there in the front line, and it does not go well. Before the win, they lose out on 2 kills, lose out on the Herald also. Really nice pick up for Vitality.Bee, not letting for the win take that at their own leisurely pace. Managed to come up, contest them for it, pick up that objective on their own accord. Now Noma going to steal away that Demonic Ascension, unfortunately a little too late, but if we do see a fight break open around that Infernal Dragon, which has been live for a fair amount of time now, Middlecott, we could very well expect to see that used to full extent.
And sort of coming into this game, we were looking at this draft from Vitality.Bee and thinking, this is pretty stock standard. This is pretty typical Vitality. In terms of the playstyle, again, it's been pretty sort of stock standard Vitality, skirmishing, using the strength of their jungler in Skeens, this time carrying up with Shigen to secure leads in the early game. And whilst for the win, they could have had the opportunity to come back. Now that lead is building and building in favor of Vitality. Now 3,000 gold, double from where it was just a few moments ago. And this is the power that the LFL can come to bear against some of these teams. As
Steal it!
Ona doesn't know that Leona is there. Should be able to walk this one out just fine though.
Unlucky. Zinthblade not quite with the range there to take away the blue buff. No, I think the damage in all honesty, but you can see the complete control Vitality have over this bot side jungle. There is a ward here, but can they get out in time?
I'm not sure about the answer, Rude. Dude, seen the play beautifully placed onto Mindrago. The flash in the plate as well. Senna once again removed from relevancy, taken out of the equation. Ona coming through with the Cyclone, but that's a 2v3 that you do not win. A double kill for the Aphelios. Another one for Steens. This is the quality of Vitality.Bee.
Lovely skirmish on the bot side. Had the setup, had the play, and with no cleanse on Mindrago, it's simply too easy for them. Divine Sunder not completed on Ona versus that Divine Sunder ready for Skeens. This time, it's the item differential in favor of the Vitality.Bee jungler, and they're not just going to be able to get 3 kills, they're going to take the entire bot turret as well, Middlecott. Really great skirmish and perfect acceleration through the early game.
Again, this is exactly what we see from Vitality.Bee. Accelerate through your side lanes, keep stability in the mid lane. This gold lead at 10 minutes is possibly the biggest I've seen ever. Nearly 7,000 gold.
And it does add on to that point of, okay, who is killing Diplex? And this isn't in your traditional sense of, wow, Diplex is so fed. How are we ever going to kill him? It's more so, we're also underfed. How are we ever going to kill him? Because they have been sent down a rabbit hole of really disastrous proportions. They have no real way of clawing their way out. This Drake feels like a desperation play, and one that Vitality.Bee aren't going to give them.
I just love that Schemes can just go over the wall, just blind, doesn't care if there are any members of For the Win over there, because he probably killed them. Nona actually hasn't fallen down yet this game, although that may be changing very, very shortly, as Jatro and Diplex will team up to take him out.
Stunning Shadow, a little too late there. Karmsky now trying to get away, but he's on the wrong side of this wall. But his flash.
Yeah, it does have that summoner spell available. He's saving it for a while. We'll need to use it eventually to get away with Schemes. May have gone a bridge too far, but no, able to get away as Shigenda.
Turret then
kill.
kill.
Oh no. Turret then kill. I mean, it's not even going to be the turret. There's just very little that Jabil can do at this point. The flash, the slice, the dice. Another kill for this Renekton. And Vitality.Bee are absolutely relentless.
Blade of the Ruin King already finished for Sagenda. Certainly looking very formidable in this game. One of my picks from Vitality.Bee to honestly be promoted into the LEC. I know that Tempora touched on the quality of this team on the analyst desk, and for me, both of these Vitality.Bee solo laners were the shot in the big stage. So them playing in this main, or the playing stage for the EU Masters, it does feel like we're going to see some bullying, and Jakul, unfortunately, the recipient of that.
I really feel like at this point, LFL needs 3 main stage spots.
We'll nab one of the NLCs.
Oh no, oh no.
Oh, I did it. Oh, I did it. What are they going to do,
it.
Middlecott? Cry with their 3 losses? I think so.
The E-Universe 2 stream is an unbiased League of Legends stream, covering some action from the Amazon.
This was prefaced. This was prefaced. You know what? They were told. Okay, J-Real at the top of this cast said, we have to be for the win favored because we know who we've got casting. I am merely balancing it out, Middlecott. It would be unfair if we to not.
That's fair enough. And for all the good things that the desk did say about For the Win, this is a decent team. This advantage that Vitality.Bee have found themselves in, I think, is more a sign of how strong Vitality.Bee are. And we joke about the LFL sort of deserving 3 main stage group spots, but I think Vitality.Bee are definitely a team that is at the quality of the other 2 seeds in that main stage that the LFL has sent to Amazon EU Masters. So definitely a team to keep your eye on, as Owner, using Cyclone defensively in his own jungle, is going to be able to clone away, and Karmsky with that ultimate keeps the Wukong alive. But when you're burning ultimates like that, 2 huge team fight ultimates just to keep your jungle alive, it is not a great sign. Shigenda maybe in a little bit of trouble. We may be causing some trouble for the members of For the Win. A 1v2, easy as you like.
Yeah, there's a 3-level lead between the top laners, 2-level lead between him and the mid laner. So that is not going to be too easy. Level 11, rank 2 Dominus. Just a bit too much there for the Win, and these players are getting more and more desperate. And not even 20k gold for the Win when Vitality.Bee takes over to 32,000. A 12k gold lead for the boys in yellow, and thus far honestly a dominating game for Vitality.Bee. For the Win came into this one 2-0. They're going to go away recognizing that there was a distinct gap between these 2-0 teams.
I'm not sure if I should ask this, but observers, can we have a look at the individual?
They're already dead, Middlecott. Oh no. Let's toggle the gold. Let's nail the coffin quickly. Never mind. Never mind.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
The observers have said. They say no. They've said exactly what I said. They're already dead. Let's not bully them even more.
You don't really need to quantify what's going on in this game right now. Vitality.Bee are just winning, and there is very little that For the Win can actually do. And these sorts of games really suck to play as a losing team, because the only thing that is really stopping Vitality.Bee right now is just the time, is just the progressions of a standard League of Legends game. I mean, it's still 5 minutes until Baron is even a tool for them, and they've got this huge gold lead, but it's going to be a little while before For the Win really feel how much it hurts.
I think Mindrago may die to Empowered W plus Q from Sagenda. That's a 5-level deficit. Blade of the Ruin King on top of, well, I'm assuming Gore Drinker gets finished here. That could be enough. I don't think we're going to get to see it. But I think it's a good thought experiment.
It's a good thought experiment. but not if you're a Portuguese fan.
No, unfortunately not.
As this Herald summoned in the top lane, not going to be able to take that tower out, as For the Win are actually looking for an engage. The Horn only connecting onto one, and they've not really been able to back this up with any damage. And that means that when Vitality get here, they can start clicking heads. Jeskla somehow still alive as the Gale forces away. And this is not going to be a clean fight for the French team, as Owner able to pick up the shutdown onto the Aphelios. The Monkey will be falling in short order, though. An ace for Vitality.Bee, 17 kills in 16.5 minutes.
And Herald's going to keep going here. They will take the inhibitor. There's a small chance there. Even able to take a little bit more Diplex. I think that normally in a standard League of Legends game, you don't tend to take inhibitors pre-20 minutes. Middlecourt, I'm going to break it to you. This isn't a standard League of Legends game. You could probably get away with this and just force pressure on the top side. Instead, it doesn't quite have the damage on the Swain with just a Rylai's Crystal Scepter, nor are we expecting him to start building Noon Quivers and try and take down these structures incredibly quick. We do get a replay, and again, we like this from the Portuguese teams. Credit where credit's due. They spot themselves with a numbers advantage and try and make a play onto the Aphelios. Unfortunately, they just don't have enough in the tank. Jessica buys enough space to buy enough time for the teleports to come through from Sagenda into the jungle. And again, credit to Owner, manages to find the kill onto Jessica, onto this Aphelios, who, in case you aren't familiar and don't follow the LFL, keep your eyes on this pick as we get into the main stage, because we've got some very good Aphelios players in our ranks, and we're going to get to see one of them perform right now.
Owner is not having fun this game. Sagenda is absolutely legendary. And it feels like we're running out of things to say, honestly, Rudy, to describe how Vitality.Bee have been playing. Another engage onto Vidrago, cleanses away, but cannot escape. Jack Troll even walking away. Hell, a game where Jack Troll is going deathless thus far at 18 minutes, it's really unexpected. If you've watched the LFLers, they were caught out on the side lane, dominating kill for Skeens. I think at this point, For the Win are just trying to claim as much CS as they can, just trying to claim anything on the map that is available to them. And Vitality.Bee going to be happy to pick off isolated members.
Yeah, and as they should be as well. I want to touch on some of the strengths that I've seen. I think that For the Win, obviously not a game that has gone particularly their way, but I want to call out credit to Karmsky getting given a champion that he's going to now engage with.
Oh, Jessler can't get away from the knockouts. Bounced into the air, and Owner is here as well. A second kill on to that Aphelios very, very soon. Jack 2 claiming the kill. Yeah, it's For the Win. They're going for stuff. They're making plays work, but this is where it starts to go badly, when you burn a couple of your massive team fight ultimates, and there is nothing to prevent Skeens from taking over the fight. Karmsky going forward as it's a little bit split here for Vitality.Bee, but they are going to be absolutely fine. A double kill for the jungler, and the French team keep pushing forward.
Oh, okay, they're going to go even further under the turret.
Diving forward, another kill for Sagenda, another Jakul, and 19 minutes into the game. We are nearly at a 20,000 gold advantage for Vitality.Bee. Domination is the only word.
I mean, we may be even underselling it at that point, honestly. This is absolute bullying in its purest form. Owner going to get away. No, never mind. Not even by the graces of the Dawning Shadow. And as you mentioned, Jack Troll's still able to keep himself alive here, and they're just going to force time and time again. It is getting quite difficult for the Win to really do anything. Well, Mindrago, though. 1k gold for it. A little bit of BM under his own turret there. We like that.
Yeah, there's some happy gaming, I believe, is the polite term for what Vitality.Bee are doing as it stands. Diplex waiting for Karmsky to walk up. Doesn't have that Sunfire Aegis on the Ornn, so a little bit tankier than he may otherwise would be, but still not great.
Now, I was crediting Karmsky, and I want to give him the points here once again. He's playing a champion that, for what we've known from Karmsky, not particularly within his wheelhouse, more of an enchanter player, but he's still actually playing the disengage role about as best as you can do on and on this time around, and also leveraging a few engages as well. We've seen Jessler taken down 3 times now at the hands of the engage that For the Win do have. Now, this obviously doesn't give them all that much in terms of standing, because we still have a 9-kill Renekton without deaths and this Diplex, a mid lane champion that is never going to die in the matchup, but we have to call out these credits where they are due and give the players the respect they deserve. And looking into, say, day number 2, keep your eyes on that in particular.
Oh yeah, let's not forget, For the Win have already taken out Bisons in this day one. This is not a team that is poor by any means, but Vitality.Bee are just on another level right now. They can take away the Baron, they can take away these kills almost incidentally in the jungle of For The Win. You have to feel with the purple buff on their backs that the final push is coming very, very shortly.
Does feel very elementary for Vitality.Bee, and you would expect that with what is now all built a 20k gold lead for them, everywhere winning in gold, and there's not really a bright point to speak of for The Win. And with this Baron in their back pocket, likelihood is that this mid lane inhibitor is merely a formality. The top lane one as well, remember, open from the prior Rift Herald push. Vitality.Bee may not even want it. They have got so much fighting power that Nexus turrets are probably enough to be offset as well with this gold lead that they've got, fishing for picks with Diplex.
Yeah, flashing engage from Jackal, trying to get onto the back line of Vitality.Bee. But the gold lead for the LFL third seed is a little bit too much at this point into game. Noma buying so much time with the Stolen ultimate coming out from that Swain. And actually, For The Win are starting to turn this around, but no, Mindrago, the last person standing. It looked good. It looked fine for the Senna. She actually may be able to stop this push coming through from Vitality.Bee, as those health bars are incredibly low.
Yeah, but Sagenda with one combo, he did all that. I'm just making noises now, middle court. This is quite dicey, Mindrago. Hold to the line for now, not all over yet. Have to, credit the notion of a Senna late game with Kraken Slayer, but it's so far away that it is not too easy to come by. We are seeing the power, of course, of that Swain ulti. Both of these mid laners buying so much time with the Demonic Ascension in each other's relative front lines, but it was all ultimately a little too much for The Win to be chasing too far forward, and I think Jessica getting a little bit guilty here of over-aggression to get taken out on the back half underneath two Nexus turrets. Not quite where we tend to see Aphelios.
Definitely not their usual location.
No. Uncomfortable habitats.
I wouldn't want to go. Nexus Tower is not a fun place to fight under. Yeah, a little bit suspect there from Vitality.Bee. It's not going to change the result of this game. It barely even changes the complexion of it as we stand. Inhib down in the top lane, Inhib down in the mid lane as well. 40 seconds left on Baron. Vitality.Bee pushing through, try and take the entire base.
And this is what we expect from a team that we would expect to be just immediately in a main stage situation. They are a team good enough. They came into the semi-finals of Spring EU Masters. They are anticipated to top their group, go 6-0, and then potentially top the next one.
Engage coming out from the Malphite, but he is already dead. For The Win making their final stand in this team fight. The Silas able to take out that Aphelios on the back line. But round two in the base, the dive under the Nexus Towers is going to look a little bit better for Vitality.Bee. Mindrago still going to be able to pump out a little bit of damage on the fountain, but the laser, unless he's doing more work than the center at this point. A last gasp, a last engage coming through from Ona as Diplex stays alive with the Zhonyas. It was dominant. It was honestly disgusting at points, but that is the power that Vitality.Bee can bring to the Amazon EU Masters playing stage. 3-0 after day one.
An unexpected game, but honestly, that probably topples any expectation.